Hi, I'm Jenny. I live in a very small town with few things to do besides school, going to the one mall we have like a half an hour away, and game night once or twice a week. Life is calm and slow where I'm from. It's the type of place where almost everybody knows everybody else and is really into each other's business. And that comes characteristic with gossip. Oh yeah, we definitely gossip a lot in my small town. It makes our boring lives just a little more exciting. At every coffee shop or park bench, you'll hear someone chatting about who's getting married, who's getting divorced, who's dating who's moving, and what's so shady about that new ice cream shop around the corner. After all, it's open 24 hours a day, and nobody eats ice cream at 3 a.m. They're certainly up to something. Anyways, my whole town thrives on stories, especially when it comes to people who know each other so well. For example, everybody knew that Mr. Fletcher, the high school English teacher, had been divorced for almost a year now. It was no secret that his wife left him to pursue a music career in Nashville. He wanted to go with her, but she refused. She said he was boring just like this little small town, and she wanted something more exciting. I kind of feel bad for the guy. And actually, I guess that's kind of a dig on our small town. But she was a goody two-shoes anyways. At least, that's what I heard from the girl down the street. Ever since, Mr. Fletcher looked horrible. Until a few weeks ago. His attitude completely changed all of a sudden. He was smiling more and making jokes in class. He was dressing better too. My friend Cindy was the first to notice. She brought it up at lunch, and my friend Erin and I agreed with her. That could only mean one thing, right? He's dating again! Now that's some good gossip. We had fun with this idea and decided that we should investigate. Again, I told you there's not a lot to do where I'm from. One day after school, we all told our parents that we were going to study at a coffee shop. But instead, we stayed late at school and hid in the parking lot. We waited until Mr. Fletcher headed towards his car, and then we followed him in Erin's car. As I'm telling you this, I realize that sounds kind of over the top. But again, there's really not a lot to do where I'm from. So anyways, Mr. Fletcher just drove straight home. We didn't want to seem too obvious, so we didn't stick around that first day. But for 2 more days, we did the same thing. Finally, on the 3rd day, we followed him and saw that he didn't go to his house. Instead, he went to Mr. Graziano's house, the gym teacher. Again, this didn't seem too out of the normal. But this is where it got crazy. When he opened the door, he greeted Mr. Fletcher with a kiss on the mouth and invited him in. What the heck was that? We couldn't believe what we all had seen. Mr. Graziano is about 10 years younger. He was super energetic, the kind of guy that tries to be buddy-buddy with other high school students, but everybody really liked him as a teacher because he was easy and fun. But we never thought he was gay. And Mr. Fletcher had been married to a woman. So, what? Cindy, Erin, and I knew that we had just dug into the gold mine of gossip. Maybe that was why Mr. Fletcher's wife had left him before. This information was burning a hole in all of our throats. But we knew we couldn't say anything because we respected Mr. Fletcher and didn't want to make his life any harder, especially in a town like where we're from. But even more stuff came up. Erin went to the grocery store one day, and across the parking lot at a little restaurant, he saw Mr. Graziano get in a car with a lady friend and kiss her. Now what are we supposed to do? We really like Mr. Fletcher, and it would be so awful to see him get hurt again by his new boyfriend. Do we tell him? That would mean that he would know that we would know about his... Oh, this is getting really confusing. I don't mean to be dramatic, but if I were him, I would want to know. We eventually decided it would be better to not interfere with his personal life. But then something else came up after that. Not even a week later, Erin and I were going to the mall, and we saw Mr. Fletcher French kissing with the same woman in the mall's parking lot. Yes, they're grown-ups, and they can make their own decisions. But what? Who is this woman? This mystery had way too many layers, and we had to get to the bottom of it. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a secret. We distracted Mr. Fletcher during lunchtime and looked through his phone to see what we could find out. And you know what? It was unexpected. He had a chat group with Mr. Graziano and the woman we saw with both of them. It was called Polly Love, and it had a picture of the three of them hugging in their pajamas. There were some saucy messages between the three of them. We put the phone back in his desk without him noticing a thing. From what we could understand from the conversation, they're in some kind of relationship together. All three of them. I have never heard of anything like that happening around here, but more power to him. If Mr. Fletcher's ex-wife could see him now, I guess she wouldn't think of him as being very boring anymore. Neither will I. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and comment below. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.